Yeah, this is like 5th day hair. Hey y'all, I'm Abby, More Than Just Skin, and welcome back to my channel. Or if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm thrilled you took some time out of your day to spend a little bit of time here with me. Finley has just entered the room and he is plopped down right here on the ground beside me. I guess he wants to be involved in today's video. But today's video is another one of my what is in my weekly makeup bag. Now, if you are new to my channel, I film these every week where I talk about what was in last week's makeup bag and what I thought about those items, and if I'm carrying any of those items over to this week's makeup bag and what I will be using for the upcoming week. So if you're interested in seeing what I am using this week and what I used last week, then hit that subscribe button and here we go. I like to go through these items in the order in which I applied them. And I like to start with what was in last week's makeup bag. So I start with primers. And I had 2 primers for last week. I had the Foundation Primer Hydrating by Laura Mercier, and I also had the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. Love, love, love both of these. Both of these are what I consider to be staples in my collection. I think they are great. I think this is a wonderful hydrating primer if you need some extra hydration. I do think that there are some dupes out there, so you don't have to spend this much, but if you're looking for a higher end one, the Laura Mercier one is a great one to try. Of course, the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter does create a beautiful glow to your skin. I have mine in the shade 3. Another way that I like to use this is I like to then put it again, strategically place it in certain places on top of my foundation. I don't use this strictly as my highlighter. I usually go in on top with another highlighter, but this is kind of what I consider my highlighting primer. So really have been enjoying this a lot. For foundations, I consider this week the showdown of the cushions. I used the my 2 favorite cushion foundations, which are the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation SPF 15 and the Maybelline Dream Cushion Fresh Base Liquid Foundation on the go in the shade 40. The Wet n Wild one is in the shade Buff Beige. Both of these are my summer colors. I love both of these cushions, but one thing that I realized is I don't really like wearing cushions on an everyday basis. I got a little bored with it, and I don't really know why. I consider these to be great, simple looks, easy, quick, on the go. They're great for travel, but for every day, it's not really something I reach for. Now, occasionally here and there, a day here and there, I would like to reach for, but using them for a solid week, yeah, I got bored. And you might be thinking, well, don't you want a simple look for every day? That's not really me. I enjoy getting up. I get up earlier so that I am able to sit there and put on my makeup. I enjoy doing that. That is something I like to do. So I felt like these were just a little too easy for that. But if you are looking for ease and if you are looking for something for travel, these are perfect. Could I tell a difference between the 2? Not really. I really paid attention to how they wore throughout the day, which one set better on my face, and y'all, I cannot tell a difference at all. The Maybelline one is a little bit pricier than the Wet n Wild one, so if you're looking in that regard, go get the Wet n Wild one. It is so good, and again, I highly recommend it for travel. Will I still keep these? Absolutely. I'm not at all considering getting rid of these or decluttering these. I love a good cushion foundation, but I am glad that my week of using them is over because, like I said, I did just get a little bit bored with them. Now you're probably wondering, well, she didn't say which one of those she has on her face today. Well, that's because I don't have either one of them on. So something that came this week, and I just could not help myself, I wanted to try it, was the Maybelline New York Super Stay Multi-Use Foundation Stick Cream to Matte Formula. So I have it in the shade 220 Natural Beige, and that is what I'm wearing on my skin today. When I first applied this, it looks way, way, way too dark, but it blends out beautifully, and I applied it just by putting it on my face and then blending out with a beauty blender. It sheared out a whole lot, so if you want the kind of coverage that I have, you really have to put on about 2 layers. But I really have been enjoying this. I used it today, and that's what I'm wearing on my skin. I used it yesterday, and I found it wore great throughout the day, so I really am enjoying this. Another foundation that I put in here were the samples of the Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear. Now, I wore this once, and I had to mix these 2 colors. I have it in 420 Bisque and 310 Bisque C. So I had to mix the two colors to get my perfect shade, and I got a perfect shade. Do I think that this is holy grail? Absolutely not. Now, I just wore it once, so I do want some more time trying it out, but I do think that I have other foundations in my collection that I like just as well, so I'm not running out to purchase this one right now. I had one concealer in my lineup, and I really wanted to see what I thought about it, and it is the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer. I love this concealer formula. I hate the packaging. It has a brush type packaging, and you squeeze it up to get the product to come out on the brush. And I found myself either not having enough product or having way too much product. So I think that I will probably declutter this for that reason. The formula is great. If I were a little more patient, I would probably squeeze it out and get a brush and apply it, or just apply it with my fingers. But I just feel like that's a little too complicated when there are other concealers out there I like just as well. I may not declutter it right now. I may still try to use it some, but it's just kind of a hassle, and it's not something that I think really is worth it. To set my face, I relied on the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the shade Medium Plus. I love this powder. I have had it, many of them over the years, but I recently rejoined it to my collection. I repurchased it and added it back to my stash. So I really do like this. I think it sets my face beautifully. It wears well throughout the day, and I really do enjoy it. I bronzed my skin with the Becca Bronzed Bondi. This is a very reddish tone. That's what I'm wearing today. Reddish tone bronzer that is great for this time of year. It just kind of gives you a sun-kissed look, especially if you're like me, and when the sun hits you, you get that reddish tone. So it looks very natural on my skin. It has a slight sheen to it, which I think makes it look even more natural, and it really is gorgeous. So I did enjoy wearing that this week. I contoured my face with the NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt. Love this contour shade right here. It's kind of like a 3-pan palette. Love the contour shade. Is what I'm wearing to contour right now. Hate the highlighter. It is way just too powdery and stiff. As you can see, I've hit pan. Love this to set my under eyes. I think I actually used this a couple of times to set my under eyes. It is just beautiful. I love it. If you're looking for a contour palette, go get this one at the drugstore. It doesn't break the bank, and it is such a great contour palette. Something that I use to kind of brighten around my eyes, I love doing that, is the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana. This is great. I consider it a dupe for the Hourglass, what is it? Ambient lighting powders. I think that this is gorgeous, and it is a fraction of the price. So if you were in the market for that, you may want to try this out before you spend the $40, $30 or $40 for the ambient lighting palette. I had two blushes this month, both by Benefit. The first one is Gold Rush. It is just a beautiful kind of peachy with a sheen shade. I had to build this up a lot to get any color payout on my skin. I think that this would be better for fairer skins, more fair than I am. And then I also, what I'm wearing today is the Rocketeer blush. Loved this one. It is beautiful. I think I'm going to wear it a lot in the fall and the winter. I just think it's a gorgeous, pretty mauve shade. But I will say, these blushes smell great. If you have a problem with scent, steer clear of them because they smell like fragrance. They smell really, really nice. Another concealer that I used to conceal around my face was the Wet n Wild concealer. I thought this did great. I used it to cover up my sunspots, any little blemishes I might have, and I really did enjoy this a lot. I have never tried this concealer under my eye because, as you can see, I bought a shade way too dark for under my eyes, but it is perfect to conceal around my face. Two highlighters I chose were two drugstore highlighters that I really thought I would decide that I wanted to declutter either one or both of them. That was not the case. I really found that I liked both of them. The first one is the one by Model's Own. It is the Sculpt and Glow Highlighting Powder Golden Sand 01. This is definitely a pinkier, champagne-y type color. It's what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. It really was perfect for every day. It was not too heavy, not too much. It just gave my skin a very nice luminosity. And then the other one is by Milani. It is the Summer Glow, it's the Strobe Light Instant Glow Powder in the shade 07 Summer Glow. This was definitely much more on the golder side, and so I alternated between the two depending on what kind of eye look I was doing. And I love this one too. It just really gave you kind of that lit from within look. Nothing too over the top. I would set my face with the Too Faced Hangover RX 3-in-1 spray. This was great. I love this. It smells of coconut. I really just can't say enough good things about that. Of course, well, to prime my eyelids, I relied on the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. This is just the perfect nude for me. This is what I used all week. I didn't alter between anything, and it is just wonderful. It's definitely a staple in my collection. Again, for the second week, the only palette I relied on was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. Like I said last week, I feel like this palette is almost like my perfect palette. I can achieve so many great looks with this. I can achieve neutral looks. I can achieve a really vibrant, I wouldn't say really vibrant, but as vibrant as I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna do anything too colorful because I work in a professional setting every single day. But just to have a little bit of variety and a little bit of fun, these purples and pinks are perfect. They're not too over the top. I can create a very wearable look, wearable enough for something I'm an attorney, I can wear it to court and it doesn't shout at you and look like, oh, she's wearing colored eyeshadow. It really is beautiful. The texture on these shadows are great. I applied the shimmer metallic shades with my finger and it is just beautiful. They really do blend well into each other, so I can kind of create a gradient style look. I have just been loving this palette. I think that it is a staple. I'm really shocked at how much I've loved it. I have to say that. I just think it is gorgeous and it definitely is shooting up to be one of my favorite all-time palettes. I did my brows with the NYX Micro Brow. This is a great brow pencil. It is a little bit stiffer than the Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I'll say this, when I start using this after having used the Anastasia one, it takes me about 3 days to appreciate that I like this. The first time I use it, I'm like, oh, this is difficult. This takes a long time. But once you get the hang of it and you realize that it's a little bit stiffer and you have to take a little more time, it is great. And the difference in the price, I think, is wonderful. So this is definitely a staple. The eyeliner that I used was the Marc Jacobs Fine Liner Ultra Skinny Gel Eye Crayon. I used this came over from last week. This is great. I really just like to use it on my lashes to give me just a fine line there to kind of make my mascara look better, because I'm doing eye looks that I really don't think I need heavy eyeliner for. So I have been enjoying that. To set my brows, I was using the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. This actually is finally empty as of today, so I will be moving this to my empties and getting something different for next week. For mascara, I think I told you last week that I purchased the, is this L'Oreal, Revlon? L'Oreal Voluminous Miss Manga Rock at the recommendation of the Glamour Index. Now, they have discontinued this, so I purchased mine on Amazon. The Glamour Index talked about how great it was. I love her. I think she is great. But one thing I have realized is that mascara is a personal preference. I do not like this mascara at all. The wand on this is incredibly strange. And let me see if I can show it to you. It is a rubbery style wand that is very, very odd. I found that this was messy for me. I got it all over my eye. I did use it for the solid week. It took a long time to build up anything on my eyes. I also layered it with the Hourglass Caution Mascara. Still am not a huge fan of this, would definitely not purchase the full size of it. But I did like, it did help this mascara mixing the two, putting this on top of this one. I will continue to use this up, but I can't see myself unless I totally have a revelation going out and purchasing the full size of that. For lipsticks, oh wait, one more mascara. Of course, in every one of these, the MAC Extended Play Mascara. This is the one that I use every week on my bottom lashes. I'm finding myself glistening because I'm burning up. So that is not the makeup, that is glistening with sweat. Okay, so moving on to lipsticks. The lip liners that I had was the Kylie Dolce K. It's just a nude lip liner. I think I used this once with the Tom Ford Sable Smoke. But most of the week I relied again on the Buxom lip liner in the shade Hush Hush. Now, the lipstick that I used was not one that I had placed in here, but I actually just grabbed it later. It is Dark Pink Frost 530D by Wet n Wild. I'm wearing it right now. This is what it looks like. It is just this gorgeous kind of frosty pink, which sounds bad, but I like. And I really have determined I don't like the packaging on these lipsticks, but I do like these lipsticks, so I used that a lot. I think I reached once for the YSL in the shade 1. I never wore the Hourglass, I don't think, and then I did wear the Buxom lip gloss in Celeste and in Princess. I did wear these a good bit, so those were the lip items that I chose. Okay, so that is what I had in this past week's makeup bag. Now let's turn our focus to what we're gonna put in the upcoming week. So for the remainder of this video, my hair is up because I am sweating. It is so hot in here. Okay, so for this next week, we are going to start with face primers, and I've picked 2. I'm going back to my Origins Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer, mainly because it is so hot, and I love this because it cools my skin. I like to wear it kind of in the center of my face. So that one is going to be the first primer. The other one is going to be the Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. I got a small size of this and I'm dying to try it out on a regular basis. So that is going to be the second primer. I'm also going to keep the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This may be used more so on top of foundation for, like I said, a highlighting base. But I'm going to keep that in there as well. Now, for foundation this week, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to stick with the Maybelline Stick Foundation because I want to wear this some more and decide exactly how I feel about it. But I'm also going to be grabbing some deluxe sample size to really try out. The first one is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation, and I have it in the shade 3-in-1 Buff. I don't know if this shade is perfect for me or not, but I can do some mixing if it's not, so I'm going to be trying this one out. Next one I'm going to try out is by the Cover FX Power Play, and this one is in the shade N60, which I know is too dark, so I'm probably going to have to mix it with a lighter shade or with some of my lightning drops, but I am interested in seeing if I do like this foundation. So that's going to be another one I'm going to try out. And then I'm still going to keep in the Lancome Tint Idole because I feel like I would like to try that again. So that may be too many different foundations to try out, but I kind of just wanted a variety, and I may carry some of those over to the next upcoming week. So to set my face with powder, I am going to stick with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. This is a great powder. I have been enjoying it. I am also going to use it to set my under eye like I did last week. Grabbing 2 concealers. The concealer I'm going to use around my face is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. And then the one I'm going to use under my eyes is the Tarte Shape Tape. So these are going to be the 2 concealers that I rely on for the upcoming week. Another powder that I am going to use, I have been using the Milani Prep Set and Glow powder, and I've been using it to set my whole face, and I just wasn't wowed by it. My friend Amber of Anti-Aging Amber said maybe I should use it more like a finishing powder, like the Hourglass powder. So I'm going to use this to kind of brighten around my eyes, maybe carve out some contour. So this is going to be the one I'm going to rely on this week and see if my opinion of this powder does in fact change. The bronzer that I am going to use is the Note Bronzer. I know I have used this recently, but I just love it so much. It's got this huge pan. It's got that perfect kind of warm tone, which is great for this time of year. That is going to be the bronzer, but I'm also grabbing a face palette that I have never used. This is by ISH Contour Kit Light Medium, and that is all. And I think it said I'm Smoking Hot is the brand. I don't know, a friend gave me this. It has a highlight, a very pink blush, a bronzer, and a contour. I'm going to try this out and see what I think about it this week and see if I want to declutter it or if it is something I enjoy using. So that is going to be the face palette of the week. Since that was a very pinky blush, I grabbed my Chanel blush in the shade Rose Bronze. This is definitely a much more neutral shade blush, and that is what I'm going to use when I don't want to be so bright pink. Grabbed two highlighters. The first one is the Becca Parisian Lights. Love this highlighter. It has such a pretty pink kind of shift to it, and I think it is gorgeous. So that is going to be one I'm using. And the other one is one that is new to me that I've only worn a couple of times, and it is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Crown of My Canopy. It's a little bit darker, but I have found that I love it, so I'm looking forward to really testing it out more this week. I'm going to prime my eyelids with the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly again. And then I'm also going to add this Nude Sticks Metallic Luminous Eye Color in the shade Nudity. It's just a kind of nude with some sheen to it. So that is going to be another one of my eye primers. For brows, I'm going back to just the standard brow pencil, the one you sharpen up. I love using this in the summer. I think it makes your brows look very natural, and it's also very quick and easy, so I'm going to use that. And then I'm also putting in the Essence Make Me Brow brow gel, since my Anastasia one is in fact out. Eyeliner, for mascara, I wanted to go back to the Givenchy base. I know this is coming to the end of its life because of the time I've had it, so I'm really wanting to get some more uses out of that before it goes bad. And then the Hourglass Film Noir mascara, I love this mascara, so I'm going to use that. And then I'm also going to keep the Hourglass Caution because I may want to do some layering of the two Hourglass mascaras, and that will be fun. I'm going to keep the MAC Extended Play because that's just something I can never not have. I'm going to set my face with the Elsie, the Hydra Enhancer Facial Mist, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of that right now. Oh, I forgot how much I love this stuff, and it's a beautiful packaging. So that is going to be the facial mist of the week. I just ate some. Y'all, I'm sticking with Norvina, but for this week, because I'm trying to kind of break away from Norvina, I'm going to add the Warrior by Juvia's Place. So maybe I can create some good bronzed looks with this. So I'm going to try to lean more towards this than the Norvina, but I kind of love the Norvina, y'all. I just can't bring myself to completely give it up yet. So I'm going to have those two in my makeup bag for the upcoming week. As far as lipsticks go, I am going to keep the one I'm currently wearing by Wet n Wild because I am just basically, y'all, obsessed with it. I am going to throw in number 1 Brunch Date by Sephora. This is one of the Sephora lipsticks. Y'all, I think these lipsticks rival like Tom Ford and Charlotte Tilbury, and you can see the packaging is super cute, but they are just beautiful. They go on well, they stay on well. I love them. I'm also going to put in there this matte lipstick by Buxom in the shade White Russian. This is a beautiful shade, so that is going to be in there as well. And I think those are going to be the 3 lipsticks I'm going to do. The lip liner I am putting in is Sugar Glass by NYX, and then the pinkier one I'm going to use is Primrose by Marc Jacobs. I've got 2 lip glosses. One is Libra by Wet n Wild. This is from their, what is it? Their, you know, where they did their, oh my gosh, I can't even think of it. All the signs, you know, the signs. So that is going to be in there. And then I'm going to use Buxom White Russian as well. Now, for eyeliners, I am going to stay with, again, the Marc Jacobs one, but I'm adding a Monster Ardency in the shade Coffee. So I'm going to have a brown and a black. I may have to add some eyeliners, but that's what I'm going to start with. Okay, before I catch on fire in here under these lights, I'm going to wrap this video up. That is what I am using for the upcoming week. If you want to see what I think about those after I use them, stay tuned till next week and I will give you an update. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I would love to see you back here on a regular basis. And oh, my hair fell down. And as always, I hope this video finds you having a fantastic day and a great week, and I will see you all soon. Bye, y'all.